Good evening, everybody. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. I'm joined by meteorologist Blaze Thomas here on the Arkansas Weather Network. And we are live covering severe weather this evening. Unfortunately, we do have a few cranky storms that are moving into the region, into western Arkansas as expected. It's currently 1:14 a.m. Saturday now, April 4th. And Blaze, we've got some noisy storms in northwest Arkansas, but really the biggest concern is the tornado warning just west of Fort Smith, Van Buren. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning too for parts of Sebastian, Crawford, and Washington County.
Yeah, that's one thing we've been watching over the last couple hours. It's just this main line moving through.
Mm-hmm.
And we told you guys the tornado threat, it's not zero, it's low. But as you can see, we've got that active tornado warning that is in effect. Now, this current warning is not in effect for Arkansas, but just looking at the environment, and I would say, Zach, this rotation looks pretty strong. I would say if this continues to hold, it will be impacting Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm from this area. I live near Fort Smith, so I'm very familiar with Salisal, I-40, Muldrow. I know that I have friends and whatnot who live in this area, so we don't cover Oklahoma weather, but this is right on the border. The warning is literally on the state line, so there's no reason for us to not be live and let people know in Cedarville, Van Buren. If you live on Highway 59 north of Van Buren, this is moving east, headed your way. And as Blaze noted, this circulation's pretty strong. I mean, certainly enough for a tornado warning. Blaze, it looks like the circulation has crossed I-40, or is right over I-40 right now, and is moving off toward the Maple community, Hanson, Blackjack, Seven Oaks, and Long. And this is in Oklahoma. Moving toward the Crawford County line in the next, I don't know, what do you think, Blaze? 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, these just overall, Zach, they've been moving so slow.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I know.
it's been like 20 miles per hour. I mean, it's taking its dear sweet time, which I guess is good because that allows for heavy rain, but that also makes it tricky because it does give you a little bit more early heads up, though, for the people that are going to be impacted by the storm. So there are some advantages to it, but um, it just kind of makes you give you a heads up, and it's like, well, it's actually going to be 20 or 30 minutes from this
Yeah.
impacting you.
Yeah, yeah. So we have somebody. Carson Bell asked, "Is it a warning or a watch?" We have both. We have severe thunderstorm watches in western and northwest Arkansas tonight, but we have two warnings right now. We have a tornado warning in Oklahoma and a severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of Sebastian, Crawford, and even up into Washington County, south and southwest of Fayetteville. So, in the green shading blaze that we have on our map here, is that's the flood watch counties. So we've got a lot going on right now, and storms, of course, are moving into the area. The rest of the state is fairly quiet right now. That's going to change overnight and into Saturday. The show, quote unquote, as far as stronger storms, is in northwest Arkansas and soon to be west central Arkansas, Fort Smith, Greenwood, Poto, Van Buren, and so on.
Well, and we told you there's that small window where a few storms could become strong to severe, and it's going to be very isolated. That's what we're seeing. We got one severe thunderstorm warning, and then we got the tornado warning, which again, it does not include Arkansas yet. But as we're talking about, this is an early heads up for anyone like in Cedarville, Mountainburg. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not in that warning, but this is a heads up because this is the direction that the storm's going to be headed.
Yeah, folks, we're live due to the storms that are moving into the region. Northwest Arkansas is observing these storms now. Those are not severe. If you live in Springdale, Fayetteville, Rogers, Berryville, um, noisy, but not a concern as far as severe weather. There is a concern with severe weather here, Blaze, to the south of northwest Arkansas. Fort Smith, Van Buren, up 49, the Mountainburg area, like Blaze mentioned a minute ago. We do have a tornado warning in Oklahoma. And we went live because this warning polygon borders the Arkansas state line. So, folks, if you live in Cedarville, if you live in Figure 5, if you live in Van Buren, North, anywhere on Highway 59, this storm is to your west and is moving east now. Hopefully, we can get the warning canceled. The rotation will go down some, but nonetheless, Blaze, I think it's pretty much a given that these storms are going to be a little bit strong when they move in here in the next 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, looking at mesoanalysis data and the overall setup, guys, there's just a small window for severe storms, but looking at what I'm seeing, where this particular tornado warned storm is, it is in an environment that does still have storm fuel. And there is a little bit more wind shear than what we saw earlier today. So that's what's allowing for the storm to continue to maintain itself.
Yeah.
I think personally, just looking at what I'm seeing, it would not be surprising if this storm continues to hold together and we do get a tornado warning in Arkansas. I'm not saying that's going to happen, guys. But just looking at the atmosphere, it could support that.
Well, looking at the National Weather Service chat in Tulsa, they said that the Sallisaw mesonet just gusted to 55 miles an hour. So, regardless, our folks in Crawford County and northern Sebastian County, the storms that are moving out of Oklahoma certainly might pack a punch, tornado warning or not. We have severe thunderstorm warning issued for that area as well. We're getting a lot of comments from people in this area. Cheyenne Irvin says, do you think Fort Smith will get a tornado warning? You're under severe thunderstorm warning at this time. No tornado warning yet. We'll see. A lot of sirens are going off comments. NWA is fine. Yep, Northwest Arkansas is pretty good to go right now. Just some stronger storms. Muldrow sirens going off. I just want to sleep. I understand that. felt that, Blaze. Felt that.
I'm right there with you guys and all that.
Oh wow.
Oh man, that's
This is a rotation detector, guys. Is what Blaze is pulling up. So
that's pretty strong signature.
that is. I think that's probably the strongest signal that we've seen since using this product.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're in Roland or Liberty, somebody just commented, Darian Eads, you should be in a shelter. You're under a tornado warning at this time. That's in Oklahoma, folks. The question was from Oklahoma. Folks, we don't generally cover Oklahoma, but this county borders Arkansas. It's moving into Arkansas next. So it's kind of one of those things where we have to kind of draw a line on where we're going to stop coverage and start coverage, because these people in Crawford County, if you live in Van Buren, Cedarville, 59 North, Figure 5, you should probably know about this. This is headed right for you. So Fort Smith as well. Blaze, the storms that are south of Muldrow headed for Fort Smith kind of look like there might be a little bit of a bow to that. You see that?
Yeah.
Might be some stronger winds in there.
Just the line itself. Earlier it was on a weakening trend, and things were looking like it was going to be weakening, and then as it moved towards Fort Smith, it has gotten stronger. So.
Yeah.
Which is not good. That's not good. But I mean, it makes sense because there is that pocket of instability that these storms are tapping into. But there's always that question: will it do what the models show? Will it do what the mesoanalysis says? And at this point, it is. So, and that's why we're going to stay on this storm very closely.
Yeah. So Northwest Arkansas, a lot of comments about NWA. Just some stronger storms right now. If you live anywhere in Northwest Arkansas, there's no severe warnings at this time. The concern is near Fort Smith, Van Buren, Cedarville, Sebastian Crawford counties for the time being. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that expands up into Washington County technically, but the real focus, I think, is in Sebastian and Crawford County. And the tornado warning, Blaze, that is moving. It was originally near Sallisaw. This is now moving off to the east toward the Arkansas state line. Blaze, that signature is still pretty strong.
Yeah, right there, just to the north of Muldrow.
Folks, this is what we're watching here. This area here, I'm big circle near Muldrow. If you're in Muldrow, Oklahoma, if you live in Roland, if you live north of Muldrow, I don't know what that highway is north of Muldrow. I'm not from that area, but should certainly be sheltered. And folks, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're in Crawford County, Van Buren area, north up to Cedarville on Highway 59. If you live in Dripping Springs, Figure 5, Arena Community, maybe even Uniontown, I certainly wouldn't judge. You're not under a tornado warning yet, but I would not judge you one bit if you started getting some precautions ready in case you need to shelter here in the next 30 minutes or so, because this is headed east. Hopefully it weakens by that time, but Blaze, that circulation looks pretty healthy to me.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot for that to weaken right now. I wish it would weaken, guys, but again, this goes back to that atmosphere and just the environment that it's going into is supportive of severe weather. That's what we've been telling you for the last, all day pretty much. We've been telling you that there's going to be a small window, and this is that small window. So I don't think I don't think we're going to be tracking this through the whole state of Arkansas. I think it will eventually turn into more of a heavy rain event. But I think it's this first area in western Arkansas that we've got to watch as these storms continue to progress east.
Folks, if you're just now joining us, a lot of people I can see are starting to come in now. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. I'm joined by meteorologist Blaze Thomas here on the Arkansas Weather Network. And we are live due to severe weather moving into western Arkansas, Fort Smith, Van Buren, Cedarville, probably eventually Alma, Mountainburg. Northwest Arkansas is observing storms as well. Those are not severe at this time. The tornado warning is still in Oklahoma. I have it circled on the screen. The white circle is the circulation that's near Muldrow, Oklahoma. This is moving east toward the Arkansas state line. It should be in Arkansas within the next 20-30 minutes. So that's why we're live here covering this with you. If you have questions, feel free to comment in the chat. We'll do our best to answer when we can. Blaze, if you need to drive, you can on the radar. But
no, I'm just kind of looking at some comments, seeing if there's anything that I've missed here. I mean, I think even though like Van Buren's not in the warning, or Cedarville, Mountainburg, Alma, I saw a comment earlier about, somebody's got to travel from Alma. It would be a smart idea, especially if you're in the Alma area, to start kind of getting prepared. Because, I mean, I would say, and Zach, I know you'll agree with this, if this continues to hold the way it's looking right now, they're going to extend this warning, and it will include Arkansas.
yeah, I would be really, really surprised if Tulsa doesn't issue a tornado warning for Crawford County relatively soon, because this is getting closer and closer to the state line, Blaze. If you live in Van Buren, Alma, Cedarville, along the I-49, 40 interchange north to Mountainburg, like I said a few moments ago, I certainly would not judge you one bit if you started getting your precautions in order and kind of getting ready to take shelter for this. Hopefully the circulation will go away soon and we can just be done with it. But nonetheless, Blaze, I don't want us to discard this, but I mean, we have a severe thunderstorm warning already for North Fort Smith, Van Buren, Cedarville. So the National Weather Service is already saying, like, hey, these storms are going to be strong when they move in anyhow. So getting a lot of questions from Northwest Arkansas, I'm guessing because it's so noisy. Rogers, I see Siloam Springs, a question from Fayetteville. Folks, Northwest Arkansas, the storms are noisy and whatnot, but there's no warnings at this time. This is really a Fort Smith, Van Buren kind of area issue at this time. So we appreciate you watching, but luckily it just looks like rain and thunder up there in Northwest Arkansas.
Well, that's the good news about having this rain moving in right now, because it is kind of calming the atmosphere out there.
Yeah.
So that's helping, guys. And that's why your threat is very low. Really almost nothing in Northwest Arkansas. But
we're going to have a lot more of this that's going to move in overnight tonight into Saturday. This is not the only round, so we'll have continued activity probably through the night and into Saturday before we clear out completely. But the reason we're live is because of the severe weather near Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma, Crawford, and Sebastian counties, and a tornado warning in Oklahoma that borders the Arkansas state line. Michael, yes, we can't rule that out. I don't have any confirmed reports, Blaze, that this is on the ground, but judging by the circulation, I mean, I don't know. That wind is, folks, what you're seeing here, this is strong. Even if there's no tornado, the winds with this are going to probably be pretty strong as it moves into the Crawford County area.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from the National Weather Service right now. So at this point, there's no confirmation that this is on the ground or not. The tricky part about this is, guys, given that it is nighttime, they're going to have to rely on lightning to see if it's on the ground, and that makes things a whole lot more dangerous. So it very well could be on the ground, but we don't have confirmation of that.
We did just get a report from the National Weather Service chat that based on a camera view looking west-southwest, I'm guessing at this specific storm, I would guess, is that there is a well-defined organized lowering. So I don't know why else it would be on any other storm, Blaze. I'm guessing that's what they're referencing here. So folks, hearing that tells me that the storm is certainly organized, which, judging by the storm winds that we're looking at here, that makes sense. Blaze, I will say it looks like it's broadened out a little compared to what it looked like near Salisal earlier.
Yeah.
But certainly wouldn't test it at this time. I would shelter up if the warning is issued here
No.
soon for Crawford County.
And the NWS, they're typing right now, so they're saying something about this. Um,
Folks want to make sure
but the
too.
thing,
A lot of comments: Blaze, Fort Smith, Van Buren, Arcoma. Folks, regardless if you're under a tornado warning, you are under severe thunderstorm warning at this time for the areas that we just talked about. So strong storms moving in nonetheless in the next. Well, it's going to be soon. Next 30 minutes tops. So uh, you should anticipate stronger thunderstorms moving in here relatively soon, and possibly a tornado warning depending on where you live in those areas, and we'll cover that as it comes.
okay, so they're advising that the circulation in Sequoia County has not been able to tighten up, but is likely producing some wind damage.
Yep.
Velocities have trended up, and tornado could still be trying to form.
Yep.
So,
So
and looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, and they may have just went considerable on this.
okay, all right, here it is, folks. So Blaze, let's go back to reflectivity real quick, folks. This is for a large chunk of Sebastian in Crawford counties, and we're just going to go down here and just go off the community. So if you live in the community of Hackett, if you live in Greenwood, that's where I am. So Blaze, if you lose me here in a minute, which hopefully we won't have any issues whatsoever with the power backup stuff. So Barling,
It's gonna be the true test
yeah,
tonight.
good test. So Arcoma, South Fort Smith, of course, the greater Fort Smith community, Van Buren, Kibler, Alma, Cedarville. This does include Mountainburg up I-49. So a large chunk of Crawford County and a large chunk of Sebastian County as well. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And Blaze, you said that there is possibly a considerable tag on this. Did I hear that correctly?
It is, yeah, it is confirmed that they went considerable and tornado possible tag
Okay.
on this.
So, folks, what that means when you have a considerable tag on a severe thunderstorm warning, we're kind of ramping things up from the generic severe thunderstorms that we get all the time. You get them in the summer and the spring months. This is basically the National Weather Service's way of saying, hey, these storms are probably going to be extra cranky, really windy, maybe some hail, and we can't rule out some isolated instances of tornadoes. We do have a tornado warning that is bordering Arkansas in Sequoia County. I wouldn't be surprised if this is expanded into Crawford County here relatively soon, but nonetheless, wow. Yeah, Blaze, I think that there's something to that.
Yeah, let's go. Can we go back to let me do the shear real quick. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
They
So,
yeah.
the National Weather Service, we were just reading, we were in discussion with the National Weather Service, and they said that there's a good possibility that a tornado is at least trying to form. Doesn't mean one is formed. Folks, there's no tornado warning yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you live in Crawford County, Blaze, can I zoom for just a second on this?
Yeah, we might want to watch that storm just to the north of Cedarville as well.
Okay.
Um little pop up there, but
Folks, if you live north of Van Buren on Highway 59, going up to Cedarville, if you live in the Figure 5 community, if you live in Rena, Dripping Springs, Uniontown, Hobbtown, maybe even Rudy, Ball, Meadows, and Furry, this is in Crawford County. Really want those areas that we just mentioned to watch this storm that's moving into your area soon out of Oklahoma. There's currently a tornado warning on that. You're looking at a rotation detector product that Blaze brought up. And these are stronger values. Blaze, I would think it's fair to say these are the strongest values we've seen since having the product.
oh,
I
absolutely.
don't think we've seen anything like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that a tornado is on the ground. It just means that this storm is at least trying. It is doing its best to spin up, tighten up, lowest levels of the atmosphere to try to produce at least, attempt to produce a tornado. So
There may be a second area just to the south of Roland starting to pop up too.
I see that. Okay, they're just northwest of Fort Smith.
Yeah, it's there's some pretty interesting signatures on this.
Folks, and like the National Weather Service said, it's a great point. Regardless if you have a tornado warning out of this or if there's a tornado or not, there's a good chance we're going to have some instances of damaging winds in Crawford County out of this circulation. So I know that it's like the thing to go outside and look and try to find the tornado. Folks, you're probably not going to see it because it's raining a bunch and it's dark. There's going to likely be some pretty strong wind gusts out of this there in Crawford County, Blaze, Van Buren, Alma, Cedarville, Rudy, relatively soon.
Yeah. Somebody said no electricity in Muldrow. Yikes.
Yeah, but there was some pretty strong wind gust that was
Hey,
reported confirmed out of that.
that's really starting to tighten up just to the north of Roland. You see that?
Oh yeah, no, I do, folks. This is
That's
what Blaze is
that
talking
could be
about,
a problem.
guys. I'm really surprised they have not issued the tornado warning into Crawford County yet. I'm hopeful that that is coming soon. Um, I've repeated it like 10 times, I feel like. But folks, if you live near Van Buren, between Van Buren and Cedarville and 59, Uniontown, Rudy, Dripping Springs, over to Alma.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
They are going ahead and extending tornado warning. That's what they just advised.
Okay, so there's your confirmation, guys. So, folks, if you live in Crawford County, Van Buren, Alma, Cedarville, Rudy, Figure 5, 59 corridor, 49 corridor going up to Mountainburg, tornado warning is coming for where you live. Sirens are probably going to start going off here soon. I'm guessing in Van Buren and Alma and whatnot, rightfully so, due to the circulation that's moving out of Oklahoma and into Crawford County. Blaze, that last scan, did we get a new scan?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did. It looks a little less intense. That one scan was, wow.
Yeah.
The 1:33 a.m. scan. Hopefully we can keep that trend going.
There it is. Came out. Include Alma. Mulberry's not going to be in it, but Kibler is in the middle of this.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just waiting on it to populate, Blaze, on the screen, and we can go down community level and discuss this. So
there it is. Oh, it's a little bit south.
So it's a new tornado warning, and this includes Fort Smith too. So
that's interesting.
That's very interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to have another polygon for the northern circulation. But nonetheless, Blaze, let's go ahead and cover this real quick, folks. This does include Fort Smith. So the sirens are going to be going off in Fort Smith here relatively soon, if not right now. This does include Van Buren. It includes Oak Grove, the Oak Park community there in North Fort Smith, Catcher, Kibler, Newtown, Yostown, Island community, New Harrelton, and Cross Lanes. It does include Alma as well, the 64 corridor going east out of Van Buren. A large chunk of I-42 near Van Buren and east to Alma. Blaze, the polygon here, the situation looks kind of odd, but I'm guessing it's based off that southerly circulation that you brought up a few moments ago.
Okay, here comes a new tornado warning, and it's going to be off the previous storm. So we're technically going to have two tornado warnings in effect.
Okay, so folks, we're going to get this new polygon here in just a second. It'll be easier to explain, but if you're just now joining us, my name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. I'm joined by meteorologist Blaze Thomas here on the Arkansas Weather Network, and we are here because of tornado warnings in western Arkansas. This is really the only show in town as far as the whole state of Arkansas. We've got a very large tornado polygon that was just issued. Blaze, I'm going to switch over to reflectivity, clean this up just a little bit. It's still kind of messy. But we have a large tornado warning polygon that has been expanded out to cover a large chunk of Sebastian, Franklin, Blaze, Franklin County as well, and southern Crawford County. So, folks, if you live in places like Fort Smith, if you live in the greater Fort Smith community whatsoever, I would be sheltered. If you live in Barling, Kibler, Alma, Van Buren, Lavaca, Mulberry, you should certainly be headed to your shelter due to a tornado warning that's been issued by the National Weather Service. What do you have for me, Blaze?
It's going to be really hard to see this, guys, especially on radar, given that we're like really close to the radar site. Yep. So that is going to interfere a little bit with the scans here. Okay, we have a new tornado warning. We're going to have 3 tornado warnings on the board now. Okay. And this one's going to be just north of the last issued one. This will be for Cedarville, it looks like.
Okay, so we're going to have 3 warnings here. 3 polygons in total.
Wow. We went from having like no warnings at all to 3 warnings. Yeah. I mean, that's how you Arkansas, literally.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding. I'm going to check the...
Wow.
So we have a new tornado warning, folks. This is the one that we've really been watching. I feel like the closest. No disrespect to the other warnings there in Fort Smith and stuff. We need to treat that seriously as well. But folks, this other circulation here is moving just north of Roland, Oklahoma, toward Figure 5, the Arena community, Dripping Springs, Figure 5, Rudy, Furry, Meadows, Dean's Market, over to Dean Springs. This includes Cedarville, Hobbtown. So we have 3 tornado warning polygons in total. And this does include the cities of Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma. A lot going on right now, folks. Blaze, I feel like we've got a lot of people involved in these polygons, and I know that this is probably going to start getting busy on the chat side. We're going to miss questions here, but folks, just to make this very simple for you, Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma, surrounding communities, you should be sheltered at this time. All of northern Sebastian County, all of southern Crawford County, and western sections of Franklin County, so west of Ozark, you should be in a tornado shelter as of 1:39 a.m. on Saturday, April 4th.
Yeah, this is wow. So you've got a considerable severe thunderstorm warning and 3 tornado warnings. It's
Dude, this
wow.
is so close to me too. I'm just barely cutting it.
So far, everything is holding together.
Yeah. We're getting a report from somebody, Sean Reeser, saying, I'm not going to say the number because I haven't confirmed it, but very strong wind gust in Muldrow. Haley Rush says that she's in Kibler, Arkansas, and she's camping. What should I do? You need to get to a reliable structure immediately. Camping is not safe in this. Certainly do not want to be in a camper or in a tent in a tornado warning. Barling should absolutely be sheltered. Yes, folks, if you live in northern Sebastian or southern Crawford County, you need to be in a tornado shelter now. Fort Smith, you're running out of time. This is moving in now. It's crossing the river. If you live anywhere near Fort Smith, Van Buren, Kibler, Alma, Cedarville, you should be in a shelter due to a tornado warning.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments coming in right now, guys. We have active 3 tornado warnings in effect right now because it's just this line that has several kinks, and there's a lot of spin to this line right now. I would say early heads up to anybody in Mulberry, Ozark, Coal Hill. Technically, Ozark, you're not in the warning. Coal Hill, you're not as well. But just being aware that this thing could be extended, and that would include those cities. I'm just looking at radar right now, and just overall, Zach, it still looks like this line is very intense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from top to
Can
bottom.
we go to?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead and drive.
Can we go to the shear real fast and take a look and see?
Check it.
On what we're seeing here.
There's a few pockets there. It looks like there one near Fort Smith, North Fort Smith. There, and the one we've been watching moving into Crawford County.
Yeah, that one might be a bad radar read right there. But there's another area, guys, we're watching just to the north of Cedarville. It's technically not in the warning, but I mean, I just think this literally, it just looks like this whole line has just started rotating.
Yeah. So basically, the easiest way to communicate this to people when we don't have just one supercell producing tornadoes, folks, the reason why we've got polygons all over, it looks like a bucket of spilled paint on the radar. I understand that. But we have multiple circulations embedded in this junk line of storms. So that's why, folks, if you're in Van Buren, Fort Smith, Arcoma, Barling, Kibler, Alma, Cedarville, even Mountainburg, Mulberry, Lavaca, Central City, northern sections of Fort Chaffee, you should be sheltered due to a potential tornado. These things are spinning up left and right. It's hard to convey to the public where exactly they are. Nonetheless, Blaze, even if there's not a tornado, the storms that are moving in are going to be on the stronger side anyhow. So certainly don't want people outside looking for this or being in vehicles. Somebody was camping earlier in the comments. We don't want anyone camping in tents. Very dangerous situation for this area. Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma.
Somebody's saying I don't have anywhere to hide. Just try to put as many walls between you and the outside. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if they're camping in tents. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but folks, if you are if you're at home and you don't have a storm shelter or a cellar, want everyone to be in the centermost room of their home. Put the most walls in between you and the outside. Get away from windows, lowest level of your home. And you might look goofy for a few minutes, but put some helmets on you and the kiddos, bed sheets, pillows, whatever it might be, to protect yourself in case a tornado was to impact you or a significant severe thunderstorm. Blaze, I'm starting to hear thunder at my house, so I would imagine this is getting pretty close to me too.
So far, everything's holding up.
Yeah, Tisha, I'm also in Greenwood. She's asking, do we need to shelter in Greenwood? Greenwood is not under a tornado warning. This is for northern Sebastian County and southern Crawford and parts of western Franklin County. So if you live in Fort Smith, anywhere in Fort Smith, you should be sheltered. If you live in Van Buren, Kibler, Alma, certainly want everyone to be sheltered as well. Lavaca, Central City, Barling, Mulberry, Cedarville, Mountainburg, uh, and so on. So that's kind of what we're dealing with now. Multiple circulations, Blaze, in this. Jessica, Fort Smith is under a tornado warning. You're asking if it's safe. You're under a tornado warning. Yeah, you should be sheltered.
So they went ahead and canceled the tornado warning for Sequoia County, which that doesn't impact us at all. But
Right.
instead of having 4 warnings, now we only have 3. But technically, still the 3 is for Arkansas. So, um, yeah, it's for anybody kind of in Northwest Arkansas that may be wondering what's going on. You may be in Fayetteville or Rogers. Mainly just a heavy rain event for you guys. There's a lot of lightning too, so it's going to be loud.
Yeah.
But really, the severe weather threat is going to be more towards western Arkansas, the River Valley, because there's a better environment down there for severe weather. So what's happening is we've got a pocket of instability, and these storms are moving towards that. They're tapping into that, and then there's some wind shear, and it's allowing these storms to spin. So, but the good news is, as you move east, we lose some of that instability. So I suspect right now they're holding together, but I would suspect as we get closer, more towards the Russellville area, that these thunderstorms could, that keyword here is could start to weaken. So doesn't mean it will, but the atmosphere will be less supportive as you get towards Russellville. So these storms will probably not maintain themselves.
We're getting a lot of questions. We're getting a lot of questions right now. Blaze, you have to watch that circulation there just north of Van Buren too. Um,
Yeah.
Folks, these situations are hard to communicate because there's a lot of storms right now moving into the region. Fort Smith, Van Buren, Alma, Cedarville, Mountainburg, Barling, Lavaca, Central City, Kibler. Uh, so if you live in the areas that we just named off, somebody was commenting from South Fort Smith. If you're in South Fort Smith, you're under a tornado warning. If you live in Kibler, Van Buren, uh, you're under a tornado warning, so you should be taking your tornado action plan now. It's the storms are there. You have a little bit of time if you're in Barling, if you're in Lavaca, Kibler, Alma, Mulberry, but you don't have a lot of time, so you should be taking shelter immediately. I'm getting all sorts of text messages on my phone from people. Folks, just because you're under a warning and you don't hear anything outside doesn't mean the storms aren't coming. They're moving from your west and moving east. And Blaze, we're getting a lot of questions too from all parts of the state, I'm guessing, as people start to watch radar and whatnot. And I know that you mentioned it a few minutes ago, but guys, right now, the only show in town is this here in western Arkansas near the Fort Smith Van Buren area. The rest of the state is fairly quiet. That's going to change overnight, but the severe weather risk should remain fairly low. So,
Yep, they are continuing the tornado warning for Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian County.
okay.
Yeah, there's still an area of circulation, but just looking at it from a reflectivity aspect, not only is there a threat of a tornado, but I also think, Zach, this is bowing out a little bit. So I think there's very strong winds just to the, probably right on the doorstep of Fort Smith, if not just to the east of Fort Smith.
I would say easily some potential for 40 plus gusts, and I might be very conservative with that estimate. Alicia Black says, do you think Franklin County will get a tornado warning? Franklin County is under a tornado warning. Western sections of the county is. But that does not include the city of Ozark at this time, but it might soon. Alma is under a tornado warning, yes. Folks, it's tough. We have people asking, can you show us where the tornado is? It's tough right now because we are so close to the Fort Smith radar site. Blaze, it looks like there might be a little bit of a kink here near Van Buren. Really tough to see. Can't really see a whole lot there in Fort Smith. And then we also have the activity we're watching in northern sections of Crawford County too. But this is so close to the radar site, guys, that these little kinks, these little vortices embedded vortices in the line are they're tough to detect and sniff out. People asking, is there really a tornado? We don't know at this time. The National Weather Service is issuing this, I think, is more as a precautionary blaze because we had stronger circulations when it crossed the border out of Oklahoma. And I see people
Yeah,
asking, is it
I think
confirmed? I don't
so.
think we have anything confirmed at this time.
No, I'm not seeing anything from the National Weather Service. But like Zach was saying, it's going to be really tricky to see this, especially on radar. We are so close to that radar site that it's just making things really tricky. Um, but we see enough rotation that does support these warnings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
just going to kind of regurgitate this again. But if you're in Fort Smith, it's on top of you now. So South Fort Smith, the greater Fort Smith downtown area, this storm is on top of you and moving to the east. Same with Van Buren and Cedarville. So next up, Barling, Central City, soon to be Lavaca, down Highway 22, the Kibler community, the city of Alma, you're up next as well, and then soon to be Mulberry Blaze, and then I think after that, the Beverly community, Vesta, Cecil, Peter Pender, and as we move into Franklin County. So, Blaze, I think regardless, I'm starting to get the dangerous storm notifications from the Arkansas Weather Network mobile app on my phone here in Greenwood. So, uh, if you live in Hackett, if you live in Greenwood, Witcherville, Jenny Lynn community there south of Fort Smith, Bonanza, it's on top of you now. There's stronger storms as well, non-tornado related too, that could be moving in. So, a lot going on, Blaze. A lot going on.
there is. We're seeing a lot of questions coming in about Alma. And so, Alma, you are in the warning polygon. The storm has not got to you yet, but it will be headed your direction. And it's going to pack a punch. So, please make sure you're in your safe place. Just kind of looking at more people saying, do we need to head to the school? If there is a school that's open with a shelter, absolutely. If you are in a warning, please take this opportunity and go to the school, especially if you've got some time, like Mountainburg, Mulberry,
Yeah.
Lavaca,
Yeah, Fort
those
Smith, you're out of
areas, go
time.
ahead. Right.
Yeah, I would rather not be on the road trying to travel in this mess in Fort Smith, or maybe even Van Buren. But I agree, Blaze. I think
Right.
you got some time in Alma, Kibler, Lavaca, Mulberry. A lot of tornado warnings right here, guys. We've got 3 different polygons, and it's kind of hard to. It looks really like a jumbled mess, but um, these storms that are moving through Fort Smith, Van Buren, and Cedarville, they're packing a punch anyhow, non-tornado or not. So don't want anyone out trying to drive through it or sightsee. You're not going to see anything anyhow. If there was a tornado, the odds of you being able to see it in person are very low with a storm set up like this. Blaze, does look like we still have some pretty strong rotation detection there. Van Buren, the Rena community in Figure 5, 59 highway.
Yeah, somebody was asking kind of where that rotation is. And again, we're just so close to that radar side, it's going to make it really tricky to see it. But we do see indications that, there is still some rotation there. It does look like it may be weaker than what we saw before, so that's
Yeah,
great news.
yeah.
But it is still present, and that's why they're continuing these tornado warnings. So I thought I'd kind of switch back to this year, just kind of showing people, the different areas.
Folks, if you're in Fort Smith or Van Buren, you should be sheltered. The tornado warning storm is moving through now. Hopefully, we can get this thing moved through here soon and get everybody back to business, go back to bed. I'm sure many of you have been woke up by this. Blaze, I'm going to back out just a second, okay?
Okay, go for it.
Um, Folks, the immediate concern now really is shifting to Barling, Kibler, Alma, Lavaca, Mulberry, Dean Springs, um, that those areas specifically as this moves off to the east. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings that expand up near West Fork and into southern Sebastian County as well. So places like Hackett, Greenwood, Witcherville, Huntington, maybe not as far south as Mansfield, but really the most immediate concern and biggest issue is the tornado warnings that we're observing here: Fort Smith, Van Buren, Barling, Cedarville, Alma, Killer, Lavaca, Mulberry, Mountainburg. So busy in the weather department as these storms continue to move through the area. Kayla's asking about Greenwood. It's about to get noisy in Greenwood. Yeah, strong storms moving in here soon. Dangerous storms. Certainly don't want to be out driving or be outside. Rogers does not need to shelter. This is nowhere near Rogers. This is not down near Fort Smith and Van Buren.
just looking at a couple different things here, Zach.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna
Trying
I'm
to
gonna
pull
zoom
some
street
cameras,
level.
see if we got a camera here, but
It's just so tough to see. We're so close to the radar site, guys, that it's near impossible to pick much out. I mean, the Fort Smith radar site's right here, southwest of Barling, and then South Fort Smith in the Rye Hill area. So we can see the winds look like they're gusting out into Barling now. East of Fort Smith, Van Buren, winds are likely pretty strong in Fort Smith and Van Buren. That's soon to be moving into the greater part of Crawford County, Kibler and Alma and whatnot. Barling, Lavaca, Central City, Highway 22 east out of Fort Smith, Barling area. It's probably going to be pretty windy here soon as well. You're under a tornado warning. Looks like some of the
people asking
strongest winds
about
blaze are
any
here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
people asking about debris and stuff. Guys, we're not seeing any kind of
No.
indication of that right now. Hey, it looks like we've got James. James is on right now.
Hey, good morning,
So,
guys.
Hey, what's up?
good morning.
James, we've
I
got
see
several tornado
a little
warnings ongoing
busy.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting wind gusts.
This is a great time to reset for those of you who are just now joining due to tornado warnings in your area. My name is Zachary Hall. I'm joined by meteorologist Blaise Thomas and meteorologist James Brown on the Arkansas Weather Network. We have 3 tornado warnings right now, mostly in southern Crawford, parts of northern sections of Sebastian County, and this does include a sliver of Franklin County, mainly west of Ozark. Guys, we also have strong severe thunderstorms outside of the tornado warning polygons for places like South Fort Smith, Greenwood, northern Crawford County, and even southern Washington County. As a whole, these storms are going to continue off to the east. But for now, James and Blaise, our biggest concern for the most part is the tornado warning polygons moving out of Sebastian and Crawford County.
The Fort Smith Airport is gusting to 40 miles per hour right now.
Okay. We had I think it was a 55 mile per hour gust earlier in Sallisaw in the same storm as it moved through in Oklahoma. I would venture to say that we're probably going to have continued strong wind gusts with this, folks. Certainly want everyone to be inside. Alma is under a tornado warning. Bobby, if you're in Alma, you should be sheltered. Michaela Furman, Fort Smith is under a tornado warning. I think the worst of it is starting to move through that area now as far as stronger wind gusts go. The most immediate concerns, though, Alma, Kibler, Lavaca, and Mulberry, and Mountainburg as well, due to these 3 tornado warning polygons.
Sorry, Blaise.
No, you're good. I'm just
Cedarville
making a
is under a
couple
tornado warning
adjustments
as well,
real quick.
John. Yeah, we're trying to answer as many questions as we can in the feed. We know people, are concerned. Just Fayetteville is okay. Yeah, there's no concerns in Northwest Arkansas for anybody in Northwest Arkansas right now. Andrea Jeffcoat says Alma sirens aren't going off. I'm sorry, they should be. I don't know why they're not. Alma's under a tornado warning. It's not out of Fort Smith. No, not yet. William says, "Can I go back to bed now?" William, sorry, but I don't know where you are to tell you whether or not. Leah Dortch says, "How's Van Buren? You're under a tornado warning in Van Buren."
Okay, so still not seeing anything from the National Weather Service. No updates or anything if they're continuing these tornado warnings. If we look at the shear markers, which James, we were seeing some pretty strong shear marks on this. Still seeing a little bit here.
Furry and
Right
Eastgate.
around just to the, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it looks to me like these are for tornadoes that are spinning up along the line. Are these storms moving pretty quick?
I feel like they're moving quicker now than they were earlier. They seem to be moving pretty quick. Guys, from what I can see, the strongest circulation on the board is just east of Van Buren, just south of Rudy. Right there. You can see it between Alma and Van Buren. Right here.
Yeah.
The winds that are moving out of Fort Smith into Barling, Lavaca, Kibler looks like stronger RFD on the backside of this. So Barling and Lavaca should probably prepare for pretty strong wind gusts here soon, but the circulation department, that looks like it to me at this time as of 1:58 a.m. So
Yeah, trying to see if anything from the National Weather Service. Nothing new. Just kind of want to give an overview for the people that are not in these storms for Northwest Arkansas. So specifically like Rogers, Springdale, Fayetteville. Guys, this is just a heavy rain event at this
Yeah.
point for you guys. Huntsville seeing some lightning with heavy rain. Berryville, same story. Really, the main focus is this one particular line right here. And man, it to me just looks like it just continues to show this strong wind signature
yeah,
with this.
it's bowing out a little bit. It has that bowing signature. That's what I'm saying. You can almost tell the kink back there north of Van Buren tells me that circulation is between Van Buren and Alma. And the RFD, I keep saying RFD, the gust front is strongest south of it, is what it looks like to me.
Right.
I would venture to say that Lavaca, maybe even south of Alma near the Arkansas River, probably some stronger wind gust here relatively soon.
Zach, I half expected to see power out all the way back into central Oklahoma with how this line looks right now, and I don't see anything. I don't see any confirmed power outages back to the west in Oklahoma. Just 77 out in Sequoia County, 100 out in McIntosh County. No big numbers until you just get east of Oklahoma City.
Well, that's pretty good news. We have a lot of
So you may,
questions right now from
we
people.
may not be. We'll just have to see. I mean, this line obviously looks pretty strong right now. I've got 40 miles per hour at the Fort Smith Airport.
Guys, we don't have any. We're a lot of comments asking where the tornado is. We don't have any confirmation that a tornado is on the ground. This is a radar indicated situation. We have a circulation that's been plaguing us for the last hour. You can see the circulation there. Did they cancel the other warnings? They did. The other
We've
tornado
got a new
warnings?
severe thunderstorm warning, and it's going to be considerable tag right there.
Okay. So I like that they did this because I feel like the tornado threat for the Fort Smith area and southeast really went down pretty quick. That one circulation there near Alma is the greatest concern. But folks, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for a large chunk of Sebastian and Franklin counties. I'm going to zoom just a second. Whoever's driving, if you'll give me just a second. I'm going to zoom just so I can get the town names here. Places like Greenwood, Lavaca, Charleston, Mulberry, not quite to Ozark yet. Southwestern Franklin, a large chunk of Sebastian, and Crawford County. Did you say this is a considerable, by the way, on the severe thunderstorm warning?
Yes.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
we said earlier, considerable severe thunderstorm warning, guys, is reserved for situations where the storms are a little extra cranky, very strong wind gusts likely, maybe some hail as well. Guys, if I lose power here in Greenwood, it was nice knowing you for a little bit.
Well,
Which I guess
we
Be a good
won't
time to
lose
test
you.
out our
Yeah.
backup.
shouldn't lose me. So I'm just saying, if something goes down, I'll be back on as soon as I can.
The
Yeah.
only thing that might go off is the light in that room, because
I got you.
but
I'm in
you've got a
Greenwood.
studio light.
I'm not in Fort Smith. I'm in Greenwood. Close, but not quite. Josh is asking, is it safe to go back to bed in Van Buren? Did they cancel the tornado warning, Gus? They did.
It looks like it.
So this is a good time for a reset, guys. So,
Yeah, they canceled.
folks, as of 2:02 a.m., we have no tornado warnings. So good news. I know it got sketchy there for a minute in Fort Smith and Van Buren, but severe thunderstorm warnings are the only thing on the board, and these are considerable warnings. So certainly wouldn't dismiss them whatsoever, but the tornado warnings have been canceled. Sirens are still going off in Fort Smith. We're getting a lot of comments about that, but the tornado warning, they've been canceled. I mean, we can see it here. Guys, I don't know if the city of Fort Smith, though, they might issue, or they might sound the sirens for considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't know if they do.
That's a good point.
So-
Yeah, because they're going off of 70 miles per hour wind gust off this, which, I mean, this thing is still holding together. It's still got instability to work with.
Yes, Kevin. The whole state for the most part, should get rain and storms out of this overnight tonight and into Saturday, and that does include Little Rock area. Rodney's asking about Kibler. Tornado warning. You were under a tornado warning in Kibler. That has been canceled. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning now there in Crawford County.
Guys, how long do we think this is going to hold together?
You know, I don't really know. Look, zooming out a little bit, this is a pretty healthy complex moving in, but I think that we're going to eventually kind of lose. These storms have went down quite a bit in the last 20 or 30 minutes compared to what they were like when they crossed the state line. Yes, tornado warning in Alma has been canceled, Ashley.
I'm thinking, James, just looking at mesoanalysis, I think by the time it gets to Russellville, it's going to start to die down a lot.
Folks, there is no tornado warnings right now as of 2:04 a.m.
Yeah, no tornado
Okay, we
warnings
got a
in
new-
state.
Okay, so they've actually just changed the warning up a little bit. You know, we had 2 considerable tags, but now they've just went to a regular severe thunderstorm warning. So that tells us guys right there that this thing is weakening pretty fast.
It has definitely reached my house. It is very noisy outside. A lot of questions from Barling, Fort Smith, because of the tornado warnings. Folks, the tornado warnings in Fort Smith have been canceled. Van Buren, same thing. Barling. If you live in those areas, it's still raining and storming, but the tornado warnings have been canceled. I'm going to go back to bed.
There's somebody asking about Russellville. What I was saying about Russellville is, as you move east of where this line is, there's lower instability, storm fuel. So these storms, I mean, they could still maintain themselves, could still be strong to severe by the time it gets to Russellville, but it does look like the environment will be less supportive of that happening. So that's why I think the threat for Russellville and east of Russellville goes down. It's not zero, but it is lower. So
Guys, I just sent a message out to our people who are in Franklin, Logan, Johnson, Western Pope County that we're watching storms off to their west, giving the people a heads up that are in advance of this severe thunderstorm warning. You know, I'd be really surprised if we don't see some higher wind gusts out of this line, just based on how it looks. But the max at Fort Smith was only 40. So that's not a number where we're really concerned with power outages.
We got a lot of comments from Van Buren talking about really, really strong winds. I've noticed it seems like whatever went through Van Buren had some strong gusts. And Blaze, we were tracking it when it crossed the state line. That stronger circulation when it crossed the line, I kind of wonder if that's what they're talking about, because I'm not seeing those same comments like in Fort Smith that we are in Van Buren, which I know it's close, but
right, that was that was very intense.
yeah.
I agree, James, with you. It does look like this thing is bowing out even more now.
Yeah.
That could be some pretty strong winds. Whoa,
Oh, my bad. I grabbed that right as you grabbed it.
sorry guys.
I have to hit the home button. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Whoops, wrong
Little
place.
vacation. Lindsay, I don't have any. We've been in contact with the National Weather Service chat, and unless I've missed it, I don't have anything regarding that. I'll check though.
What was her question?
If there was she said that a local news station, I'm not going to name the station, said that there was a tornado in Muldrow, but I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I cannot confirm.
Yeah, and I don't have any. I'm sorry, but I don't have anything from the National Weather Service on that. I'm not saying that news station's wrong. I haven't seen anything from the National Weather Service on it. A lot of reports of strong wind gusts in Crawford County as this is moving through Van Buren, Alma, Mulberry.
Hey, guys, take a look at what was just put on Slack, Tulsa chat.
All right, let me get pulled up here.
Okay. We're getting reports. This is not a confirmed report as far as I know, right, Blaze? Not a confirmed report. This is just a report.
This is coming in on Spotter Network.
We're getting reports that there is some damage being noted 2 miles north of Van Buren, near Field of Dreams. So that would match up where that circulation was
Yeah,
earlier.
it would.
This is near Field of Dreams is on the north side of Van Buren, Blaze and James.
Yeah, I see. It's on the north side of Fort Smith there. I guess we'll have to see if there's any power outages in that area.
I would like to see some more reports too, because that's just one report. Not saying that that person's not right, but
Still waiting on Crawford and Sebastian County power outages to update. I don't have any right now. It doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I'm betting we at least have some. I see the reports.
folks, if you have reports, if you hear anything, let us know in the comments. Send us a message, whatever it might be. We really appreciate it.
Looks like reports coming in. Alma has no power. Several people still having power though in Alma. So
My lord, it is already 2:10 a.m.
I'm going to go to velocity mode, guys.
okay.
I think it's very easy to see why, high winds is the main concern. You see the very bright colors there pushing into the Fort Smith area, the Van Buren area, now to Alma and Mulberry. We know there's at least 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with this. That's what's been measured. But there's a good chance that you're also going to see some gusts, 60, maybe 70 with this type of signature. There's an emergency manager that's in the area of Van Buren. Zach, we're going to have eyes on it with a real report here
Awesome. Okay.
very, very soon.
I have some contacts with Van Buren PD too that if need be I can contact.
There's
But
still an area of rotation, it looks like, guys.
It's
Right there.
Yeah, you can see it right along 64 Highway between Alma and Mulberry. This just won't go away. I feel like it's that same area that we've been dealing with. Brittany, the Field of Dreams reference was due to some damage potentially in the area. Certainly don't want you to be outside if you're in that area because it's still storming pretty bad, but the tornado threat has moved to your east. Folks, if you're in Alma, Kylie, certainly want you to stay inside. Stronger storms moving through the area right now. I wish we had a moderator on YouTube that could ban that GHXT pledgy. I can get on there and do it real quick.
I can get on it, Zach.
They've been spamming "Is this real?" on the comments. Really annoying.
It's on YouTube.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
On
Thank
it.
you guys.
We're still getting people talking about, we have no confirmation, guys, if there was a tornado in Van Buren. All we know is that there is some reports of damage, but we will have a good idea of what happened because emergency management is en route.
Yeah.
So we'll have a better idea. So we can't confirm or deny there was a tornado. We don't know, but we are getting reports that there is some damage. So
just to kind of reset for everyone too, we're kind of following up on leads that we're getting. Folks, if you live east of Greenwood, if you live in Charleston, if you live in Mulberry, eastern sections of Crawford, and western sections of Franklin County, these storms that are moving in are fairly strong. They are severe. We've had wind gusts well over 40, 50 miles an hour at times. So certainly want everyone to be inside as they move in. The worst of this has passed through Van Buren, Blaze. It's passed through Fort Smith. It's in Greenwood now. I can attest to that. It's very noisy outside. But this is going to continue off to the east. And we are getting questions, guys, about the rest of the state, per usual, when we have severe weather in Arkansas. I know people are just trying to prepare, but this is it for now. Northwest Arkansas is starting to settle down a little bit. Folks, we do have some stronger storms, though, up here in Madison County and parts of Carroll County, but this is it for severe weather at this time here near Fort Smith. So,
Yeah, the winds are picking up a little bit on the Huntsville storm, St. Paul to Huntsville, but not enough to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's something that we.
Kylie, if you're
There's
in
also a little
Alma,
bit of hail too.
Kylie, if you're in Alma, if you're sheltered, there's nothing wrong with staying sheltered for another 15 or 20 minutes as the storms move through. But the worst of it is starting to pass through your area. So it is definitely loud, and Greenwood can confirm. Alma is okay right now, just stronger storms. No tornado warnings on the board, guys, as of 2:14 a.m. So that's good. Megan Turner says, my stepsister just had a baby at Mercy in Fort Smith during this. Wow. Won't ever forget that.
Whoa.
Good luck to you guys. Well, guys, I do like our trend as far as the tornado warnings go. We just got to get rid of these severe thunderstorm warnings now. I would imagine these are probably going to continue gusting out for a little bit as they move off to the east.
Yeah, I like the trend, guys. Starting to at least look ever so slowly less impressive. And I think given that it's 2 a.m., we can confidently say that we're trending down.
Right. Folks, if you live in other parts of Arkansas, central Arkansas, somebody commented from northeast Arkansas a few moments ago, we can't completely rule severe weather out late tonight into tomorrow, but much like it was tonight, the risk isn't real high. Maybe a few storms. We've only had a couple of storms that have really caused any problems tonight. Everyone else is just getting rain and thunder. So hopefully that answers your question if you're concerned. We'll be here to watch it regardless. Drawing a track here.
So there's what's coming out of the Fort Smith area. We'll soon be headed towards Ozark, Harris. See the number of towns that are about to be impacted. We're going to be near Mulberry here in just a few minutes. And it'll be moving towards eventually, after Ozark area, Clarksville down the road. Guys, all indications were that there would be a huge drop-off after we get to 2 a.m. How severe these things go.
Yeah, I think so. Especially as we're kind of losing that instability as we go east. But what are y'all thinking on the rotation? Because there's still a little bit of broad rotation there near the Alma area.
There's an inflow notch on that. I mean, you can see it from here. It just won't go away. Yeah, there it is, right there, right on the dot.
Right. It's right along I-40.
Yeah, it's just weak. It's just kind of faint, broad rotation, but I mean, it's there. Folks, Mulberry, Pleasant Hill, we're talking about you. Pleasant View, some weaker circulation there. No tornado warning at this time, but certainly worth watching.
We have a cancellation of the considerable severe thunderstorm warning, and it looks like it's been replaced with just a regular severe thunderstorm warning. So that is great news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That is good news.
Storm's moving at 30 miles per hour, Kayla. So it's actually, a lot of times this type of storm, you'll see it racing east, 50 miles per hour. That's not the case tonight. Actually, this system slows down, and we'll actually just kind of see one big blob of rain drop, hopefully heavy rain as we go through the rest of tonight.
Taylor, if you're in West Fork, the severe weather risk is very, very low for West Fork. This is just really just rain and thunder for you.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Guys, when I set my alarm to get up and check the radar, I did not expect to see tornado warning.
I didn't think you would be joining us at 2 a.m., but I'm glad you did. Yeah, me and Blaze, I told Blaze when that circulation near Salsaw started tightening up, I texted Blaze and said, yeah, we're probably about to get pretty busy. And sure enough,
You just never know.
no.
But that's why we're here, somebody's always got to be watching it and paying attention. You get your app downloaded, because we want people to rest easy,
Yeah.
And Zach, I think we're comfortable saying Van Buren, Fort Smith, you can go back to bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Clear.
I'm glad you said that. Well, I'm seeing comments still from Van Buren. Folks, if you live in Van Buren and Fort Smith, the worst of this has certainly passed. The warnings have been canceled completely. If you live in Greenwood, it's noisy outside, can attest. The worst of it is starting to pass. We did get a comment from Alma. Storms are still strong there in Alma, but the worst of that is moving off to the east as well. So,
Yeah, as soon as that line passes you, the real severe part, I think you can pretty safely get in bed. What we're watching right now is that we call it an inflow notch, but it's basically just where humid air gets pulled in here, and you can end up with a tornado right there. A brief one. But that's what we're watching. Looking at our velocity scans, everything is very weak. So even though it looks menacing right there, we don't have any imminent risk, I don't think, of a tornado. But in this type of situation, obviously it's late. We want you to be inside. Hopefully nobody's out at 2:20 a.m. Be
Yeah.
inside. If you got a lot of trees around you, interior room definitely preferable. This is coming up on Ozark now. It's coming up on the Arkansas River. As far as measured wind gusts, we have had 40 miles per hour at the Fort Smith Airport. And as far as power outages go, guys, I've got 760 without power in Crawford County.
that matches the Van Buren wind that we were getting reports of.
Right, but it's not a widespread number. You know how when you get a big line like this that goes through Fort Smith, you could easily see
Right.
20,000 people without power. That's not what we're seeing.
I also, too, got a report from Van Buren Fire just a few moments ago conflicting what we were told about the Field of Dreams. That they've
Yeah.
received no calls, they have received no reports. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the drawback with Spotter Network, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a Spotter Network report. It wasn't a National Weather Service Pulsar report. It's a Spotter Network report. So, yeah, you got to discern.
Braden says, am I okay to drive to the casino now? I'm guessing he's talking about in Bacola. Yeah, I think so, but might be driving into some thunderstorms, and good luck on the blackjack tables. Did we get a new severe thunderstorm watch just now? People are
I'll pull it
asking.
up.
We got a
Zach.
missile scale discussion, but I don't think we have a watch yet.
Rosalana and Rogers says, "Are we safe to go back to bed?" Yeah, it's storming in Rogers now, but
Oh, we
the
did.
worst of it is starting
My
to
bad.
move through. So they did issue a new severe thunderstorm watch, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes all the way out to Perry County, Conway County, Clinton. Guys, I don't think the threat is just extremely high the rest of the night. We call it a needle in a haystack type of night. It's that's the type of night that it is.
Yeah, Northwest Arkansas, you're good to go. This is moved through that area and is moving off to the east now. Yeah, they definitely expanded that watch because we're getting a lot of comments about it. People hopefully getting it on the Arkansas Weather Network mobile app, completely free, by the way. Shameless plug, but the Arkansas Weather Network app will notify you guys of that. We're looking at some futurecast data here of what things could look like through tonight and tomorrow morning.
Takes a long time for this stuff to cross the state, guys.
A lot of comments from people today, James and Blaze, about baseball tournaments and soccer tournaments in the morning. Folks, there's a good chance that some of that's going to be rained out, depending on where you live, of course. We need the rain, though. Sorry about your soccer games, but we need the rain bad. Shelby, you're good to go to bed in Greenwood. It's just noisy. I'm about to go to bed here in Greenwood. Pretty excited about it.
Yeah, y'all are at baseball games till
Oh my gosh, dude.
not that
tired.
long ago.
Yeah, I am tired. Kristen says the Arkansas Weather Network app woke me up. Thank God. Love to hear that, Kristen. Thank you for using the Arkansas Weather Network mobile app. Please rain, no tornadoes. Guys, so just so everyone's on the same page with us, the reason we're live is because we had tornado warnings earlier, several near Fort Smith. But right now, we're really just kind of monitoring the TAMCO radar. We've got some storms ongoing and some severe thunderstorm warnings in Crawford, Sebastian, and Franklin County. But guys, we really don't have a whole lot going on. It's pretty chill for the time being.
Seeing a small uptick in the thunderstorms, moving towards Harrison, Jasper. They went ahead and issued a special weather statement on that.
I see. A
Um,
lot of lightning in those.
yeah. So
Karen
I'm thinking the
Schweitzer
winds may be
says
picking up a
lots
little
of
bit.
little damage around Van Buren. I'm guessing she's talking about wind-blown damage. The app woke. A lot of comments from the guys, from people saying our app woke them up. I love hearing that. Thank you for telling us.
Yeah, honestly, that is the biggest for everything we want to do and improve going forward. The alerts that are on our app are state of the
Definitely.
art. So that's why you have it. You just never know with weather exactly what's going to happen. It didn't look like storms would stay severe into Arkansas, but they are tonight. So
Denise is in Charleston, is asking about the storms. They are stronger. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Would certainly recommend staying inside as those pass through Charleston, which they are now. Soon to be Branch, and then eventually Clarksville in 22. Probably Paris, Boonville, Coal Hill in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Amber Reynolds said that our app notified her, but that her phone never went off. Wow. Might have some alerts disabled on your phone. Somebody asked about Harrison. I think Boone County's under that new severe thunderstorm watch.
Yeah, and they've got that special weather statement too.
Yeah, storms moving into Harrison here soon, Erica. No
Derek
severe
asked, are these storms going to die down as they move east? I just woke up to good rain in McCrory. Yes, these storms are going to die down and weaken as they move east, but we're probably going to see them expand into one giant blob of rain.
Yeah, I think most people just get rain and thunder from this, and that's it, which is great. Lexi, you're good to go. You're good.
To me, guys, just looking at velocity scan, it looks like things are really starting to fall apart.
Yeah, definitely. Lavaca's.
Which makes sense, because it's losing its instability right now, so.
Ayla is in Alma asking if they're okay. Should be good to go in Alma. Same in Lavaca.
I'm going to send out a message, Zach.
Okay. Greg D says
No.
barely heard any thunder so far in Witcherville. I haven't heard a whole lot of thunder here at my house either. Heard the wind and the rain, but I haven't heard a whole lot of thunder either. It's kind of odd. There's a lot more lightning and stuff north of this, Greg. Greg, it is supposed to be on our app. I guess we had a feed problem on the app. I don't know. We're live on everything else though, of course. So sorry if there was a malfunction in there.
Let me check the feed.
I've been watching it on the app, and it's been good.
Oh,
Yeah, if that ever happens, you just need to reopen the app,
I got you. Okay. Alma's good, Brendan.
which I don't have it in the app, Blaze.
You don't?
I do not. I just have a black screen.
Okay, so maybe there was a feed issue.
Okay, so I have it on Android. I don't have it on iPhone.
Wonderful.
Sorry about that, guys.
So that's. We will work on that, guys. We'll work on
We'll
that.
work on it. But we appreciate you watching on social media, on all of our platforms. Guys, I think they canceled the warning, so we have no warnings right now. Taylor Cronister says, when are they turning back my electric on in Van Buren? I'm not sure. Taylor, we don't work for the power companies. Hopefully soon, though.
Okay, so National Weather Service says with the downtrend in the storms, they have let all the warnings expire.
Awesome. Great news, guys. Oh, man. Guys, I really, people asking in the comments if it's going to get bad. We can't rule out severe weather tonight or tomorrow completely. It's just low. The risk is low. It was low tonight. We've only had a couple problem storms, and that's it. And that's probably going to stay the trend. Guys, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's needle in a haystack type of night. This is not some major severe weather event. You can still get one or two storms that pulse up, do damage, and give you a good scare. To people in Fort Smith, this may seem like a bad night, but to the general question that I get all the time, is it gonna get bad? We're not expecting it to. Yeah, Greg, we are having a problem with our stream in the app, but there's a button in our app. Obviously, you found us, but you can click on the YouTube button and it'll take you to our stream also.
Oh, man. Guys, I think I'm about to check out for the night. I'm exhausted.
To me, it looks like everything's kind of really trending down, so that's good news.
Yeah, I agree. I think
that emergency management person from earlier that was telling us that they had officers en route, they're typing right now on chat. So I'm curious if she's gonna shut down the rumors of a tornado.
Gene Wesley, there is no warnings in Alma right now. You're good to go.
Yeah, if you've got the Arkansas Weather Network app, I did just send out a message to people behind the line of storms that this severe threat has ended.
I got the notification on my phone, James, so appreciate that. Guys, if you download the Arkansas Weather Network mobile app, it's free, by the way. We can send you personalized alerts and geofence it to where people don't get unnecessary alerts or spam alerts. So it's really neat having the ability to do that.
Blaze, is there any way to troubleshoot what's happening with the app right now?
It's going to be a server. It's going to be a server switch. It'll have to be third party that we'll talk to you about that.
Well, just so everyone knows, we have been working hard the last few weeks to just upgrade and get rid of bugs, and first event back, there's a bug. So we'll get it dealt with.
We will. Hey, everything from a streaming side of things, like on the website, as well as the Roku, all that, social media, that has worked great. I've seen no problems
guys,
with that.
Arkansas Weather Network is the name of the app. That's the name of our company. It's only a few months old, but we cover the entire state. We have daily weather content, and of course, if the weather gets life-threatening, we will be live, and of course, that's what we're tracking this evening. Andrea asks, can we go to bed Northwest Arkansas? Yes. And Andrea, if you download the Arkansas Weather Network app, we have a message that just went out to the residents of Benton County. The severe threat has ended. Saw another question. I can't remember where I saw it. Is it safe to go to bed in Fayetteville? Yes. It's just plain old rain. Plain old rain.
Reports coming in now from emergency management stating that there is no significant damage near Field of Dreams. There's power outages, and there is some trees down north of Rudy, but very small amount of damage, but nothing significant near Field of Dreams.
That matches what the fire department said. So,
Yep.
guys, everyone for the most part in Fort Smith, Van Buren, that whole area, Northwest Arkansas, you guys are good to go. Storms have moved through. Caitlin Marks from Fort Smith asking the same question. Y'all get some sleep. Some good sleep in a rainstorm, thunder. My gosh, the best.
Yeah, needle in a haystack
We're
type of
starting to
not just because it's April and we have thunderstorms, thankfully doesn't mean they have to be severe. So
Yeah, no, this looks good.
that's
we
good
are
news.
seeing a lot of special weather statements getting issued. If somebody wants to turn that on, because this whole line has several right now.
Thanks, Kaylee. Appreciate it. Michael, go to sleep, brother. That's all good. We'll be here to watch it for you.
So there could still be some gusty winds, guys, with these storms moving in with the special weather statements, but it's not enough to issue a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah.
Which
Again,
is 58 miles per hour.
I think getting up and seeing that red image, I was like, oh my gosh, we're about to have so many power outages. We only have 800 power outages from that area where the storm's gone through. Randomly, we do have almost 1,500 out of power in Perry County. First Electric Co-op has some customers out in that area of the state. Not sure what that's related to. Not weather related, I don't think, this time. These special weather statements basically cover for gusty winds, and that is it. We expect them to continue. These storms to continue to take a step down.
Getting a lot of comments from people in Central Arkansas and Eastern Arkansas saying that nothing's happening there. But folks, it hasn't made it to you. It's going to be a while. I feel like compared to our arrival times, this is moving a little behind schedule.
Yeah.
Compared to what it looked like this morning, so that's probably the reason for some of that confusion. But yeah, folks, it just hasn't made it. It'll make it late tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Futurecast. I mean, it just takes a while to get across the state.
I love how, though, this is transitioning more into a heavy rain event because we need the rain. We are desperate need of rain.
Yes.
And thankfully, we're going to get some.
Yes.
So, guys, let's assess the severe weather threat later today. You might be looking at this image. You might see these red blobs moving across the state and think, oh, man, that looks really concerning. Actually, I don't think there's a whole lot to this. It's a very, very low threat for severe weather today. Needle in a haystack. Ducks Are Life says, I can't tell what time for ash flat. It's very difficult to just look at a weather app and get a timing estimate on stuff like this. So you have to, unfortunately, seek out more information. And based on what we're seeing right now, ash flat, northeast Arkansas, it's going to be several more hours. Storms probably aren't going to be severe. It's going to take several more hours for these storms to work their way in northeast Arkansas. Now, they eventually are going to get there, but it's probably going to be around sunrise.
Yeah.
These storms are only moving at 25 miles per hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that this isn't in Central Arkansas until after 4 a.m. I mean, it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
I do think as these move through, guys, they're probably going to wake some of you up, especially if you have trouble sleeping in thunderstorms. So, but don't panic because we're going to be watching things. And if there's a threat, we're going to be here. We'll keep you updated.
Someone asked about Northwest Arkansas being in the clear. Yes, Northwest Arkansas should be good to go. Just rain and some thunder. And Riley Whitaker asked about Fort Smith tornadoes. No concerns now. We don't know if anything actually went through Fort Smith, but there were tornado warnings earlier. But
there were no power outages in the city limits of Fort Smith.
I would say there's probably a pretty good bet that there was no tornadoes then. Yeah, I saw Riley. When these things happen, I get tagged in all sorts of community groups on Facebook about tornadoes, and I saw that post too. People just get amped up. I think, honestly,
Yeah.
people start seeing tornadoes everywhere in the sky, but they're really not tornadoes. All right, guys.
Hard to tell at night in this state.
I think I'm gonna cash out and try to get some rest. And
Not far behind you, Zach.
get some rest and be up tomorrow. So I think I'm cashing out for that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know how long James and Blaze are staying on, but I'm going to go to bed. I'm exhausted. So I really appreciate you guys watching the Arkansas Weather Network. So
Yeah. Thanks, Zach. And as we say goodbye to Zach, we want to say thank you to one of our partners, Tamco. This radar is brought to you by Tamco. And Tamco shingles are engineered for high performance in these regions where the weather gets really bad. That includes their Tamco Hail Guard warranty system that they have. There are local contractors all over Arkansas that use Tamco shingles, and you can visit tamco.com to learn more about their shingles. Our sponsors make this whole operation happen, and they keep it free for you so that we can be up late at night watching storms as they cross the state. We're a statewide operation. And see, I see a comment Ryan, about Ryan Hall. Ryan does great work. There's a lot of people that do great work, but we're local to Arkansas. We have 75 counties that we cover, and we'll cover them well. We've got experience from every area of the state. Got a big team just beyond the three of us. A lot of help. This is something that we're very passionate about, and that's why we're up at 2:40 on a Saturday morning.
So, what's your latest thoughts, James, kind of on this line? I mean, there's a few areas that look like it might be a little bit on the stronger side, but overall, I think it's mainly heavy rain at this point.
Yeah, and you can actually, I'm put in motion here for the last hour. You can see that overall things are starting to just tone down just a little bit. We're going to transition to more of just being heavy rain. So I don't really anticipate the reissuance of any severe weather.
The only thing that I'm watching and I'm curious, can I look at
take
shear
it.
marker real quick? I want to see if it may not even be picking up anything. No, it's really not. I'm seeing a little bit of maybe broad. Well, there it is right there. It's very broad.
You're talking about Southwest Newton County?
Yeah, Red Star area. Very, very broad, but it's something that we will watch.
Blaze, I think the line's actually going outflow dominant, which just means the cool air is going to be pushed outward. I think it may start to be pretty difficult to get tornadoes. I think that threat is quickly lowering.
Yeah,
So
I think
we do
you're
have
right.
that severe thunderstorm watch, Blaze. I'm going to pull up the severe thunderstorm watch real quick.
Okay.
And just kind of show what we're dealing with. So the watch covers Fulton County, Mountain View, down to Clinton, Morrilton, Perryville, over to Scott County, just kind of in advance of the line. It's in effect for a few more hours, but really the severe threat is quickly dropping off. Mammoth Spring, I just had a question about Mammoth Spring. The threat for tornadoes statewide going forward, you can't rule it out this time of year. Like, it's never just zero as storms are moving through the state. It's not far above zero, thankfully. So you can rest easy. You really can. That's what we're here to do.
And just download our app because it will notify you.
Yeah. And we're never going to try to freak people out, just calmly tell you what's going on, where to go. That's our goal. Really heavy rain towards Red Star. That's from Lisa. Yeah. Blaze, you notice the southern end of this line really just kind of falling apart.
It is. But that north part, it's still looking a little bit on the stronger side. Not enough to issue,
Put together.
any severe thunderstorm warnings, but I think there could still be some gusty winds with this.
Cameron Barnes jumping in the chat there from Facebook. Overnight crew. He's with Arkansas Weather Watchers. He's doing the same thing we're doing, just watching radar, babysitting radar tonight. For those of you that don't know me, I worked at Channel 7 for 7 years in the Little Rock TV market. And if you're watching right now, you might be out of Northwest Arkansas. These types of nights back in those days for me, I'd get dressed, put on a suit, go sit at the station all night long. The beauty of this type of operation is we're kind of working in shifts, and my guys here bring it into the state. I hop out of bed, and I'm at work in 1 minute.
It's nice.
Will it get rough in Yell County? No. We're going to get some rain and storms. We're not expecting it to get very bad. That goes for everybody from here on out. Let's look at the last hour, Blaze, and you'll see what we had as it was coming into the Fort Smith area compared to what we have now. I mean, it has just completely fallen apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be on here
Thank
much
goodness.
longer because I don't really think there's much of a threat for severe weather going forward tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looks like things are really trending down.
Mountain View, April. Yeah, we're not seeing Newton County, just anybody really in advance of this line. I'd go to bed. There's no severe weather warnings in the state, and these storms are just loud, regular storms.
Somebody asking if it's okay to leave the safe room. Yeah, guys, there's no active severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that. So, it is perfectly fine to leave the safe room now.
So I'm pulling up power outages, Blaze, and we'll just look at a few of these numbers. So you've got Washington County with 100. The highest county is going to be Crawford County that has 800 people without power. That looks like it's in the Van Buren area. Carroll County has a few. But overall, these numbers are pretty low. You got more than 1,000 in Perry County, but doesn't look like that is weather related, at least as far as I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, there was some storms earlier, but that's been several hours ago.
Yeah.
So.
Just started raining in Fort Smith. Yeah, it's going to rain for a while. It's good news. It'll rain for a good bit. We'll go. I can pull up Futurecast again.
No, there's no active tornado warning in Ozark, no active tornado warnings anywhere across the state, no active severe thunderstorm warnings either. So these are just special weather statements, guys, which is indication that these storms are definitely weakening and weakening pretty quick.
Yeah, and Weather Service out of Little Rock just put out a statement to us that they're not expecting a lot of severe weather as we go through the rest of tonight. So, Futurecast over the next few hours brings these storms slowly east. I'm going to try to walk this slowly so you can kind of see what we're dealing with today. See, by 1 o'clock, I mean, that's quite a distance from now. We're still going to have this line in the state. So it is not moving quickly, and that's really, really good news because we need the rain. severe weather threat today is very low. It's not zero along that line in southeast Arkansas, um, but it's just about as good of an April thunderstorm day as you can ask for. Good heavy rain, a lot of us picking up around an inch of rain, and a good chance that we see, several hours of rainfall.
And like we're saying earlier, we need the rain. I mean, the amount of wildfires that Arkansas has had is just, I'm listening to the scanner all the time, and it's just fire after fire. So we're in desperate need of rain, and we'll take it.
Yeah, if you're out there and you're watching us, please like us where you have found us. That's going to help us going forward. You can like us on Facebook, YouTube, of course, Arkansas Storm Tracker Zachary Hall. We're live on his Facebook. We're live on my Facebook, meteorologist James Bryant, the Arkansas Weather Network Facebook, on YouTube, and typically in the Arkansas Weather Network app. Having trouble with that stream, but that's just a bug that we're going to troubleshoot. It's a good night to have that bug, honestly, Blaze, because we're not expecting life-threatening weather to continue.
Right.
But yeah, we had our stream drop for some reason, so we'll be dealing with that.
We've been making a lot of upgrades, guys, making a lot of changes and stuff to benefit you guys, and there's just a lot happening. There's a lot in the background, so we'll get it all squared away.
Moderate wind north of Harrison, some thunder, not excessive, good precipitation. That's a great report. And that's exactly what we're seeing along this line. So I'll jump up to Harrison, and yeah, you can see rain, heavy thunderstorms moving in. It'll be the same across Newton County and soon to be Johnson County, Logan County also. It looks like a lot of the lightning blaze has dropped off on this stretch down into Scott and Logan County. So there's pretty much no threat for severe weather down that way.
Yeah, somebody saying something about, will the special weather statements end? I think they'll continue special weather statements probably. Don't you think, James?
For a little while longer, but yeah, I do think they're going to eventually end them. The strongest portion of this line right now is just to the north of Ozark and Coal Hill, right along I-40. Had a little bit of weak rotation in there. But again, the severe weather threat going forward, pretty low. I don't expect a whole lot. So I'll be checking out soon, Blaze. My kids get up in 3 hours.
Wow. They get up early.
Oh, man. Yeah. Whew.
Because that's like, that. What is that, 6 a.m.?
Yeah. Rita's asking about Searcy County, Blaze. It's your territory.
I'll be watching things. I'll keep an eye on Searcy County, but I think it's mainly just heavy rain. There may be some gusty winds. There is a lot of lightning too.
Bethany asks
But
about the update for Ozark. Bethany, it's pretty much about to get, the rain's about to get heavy. It's about to get windy, but we do not have severe weather expected going forward. It's very, very low. Question, Lonoke County. This breaks apart by the time it gets to Lonoke County. The big line does, yes, but it is going to rain. Thankfully. We are going to get some rain.
again, we need the rain, guys. We'll take it.
Fun fact,
Nice sleeping rain.
Blaze was my intern at Channel 7 back about this time last year. He does good work, real good work. All this
I
stuff,
learned from
all
the
this
best.
fancy stuff. That's Blaze right there. Greenwood and Sebastian County, it's raining, but if I were you, I'd go straight to bed, Melissa. Straight to bed. Melissa and Glenn, let's see. Oh, hey, this is a good question. Why is the weather severe in other states and weakens when you get to Arkansas? It's all about timing. If Oklahoma has a big severe weather day and it's coming through here at 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., you're just losing the daytime heating typically, and it's falling apart. There's rare situations where that doesn't happen, and you're going to see, it stay put together. But in this case, pretty typical, fall apart. Kenzie asked Van Buren, good to go to bed? Yeah, I'd go right back to sleep.
I sure don't want my apartment flooded anymore. Uh-oh. Now this is gonna be pretty heavy rain, so there could be, if it floods pretty easy, that's not good. There's a little signature there, but
Yeah, I've been watching it. It doesn't look super concerning. This is coming into Johnson County, and this is going to move up towards Oark. It's near Mountain Grove. Probably some wind back in here, and it's had weak rotation at times, but the overall trend has been for weakening, and it looks like we're going to see that continue as we go through the next few hours. It's just going to be a big blob of rain. It's exactly what we needed. Just a big area of rain to move through Arkansas and give us.
it does kind of look like that area, James. Yeah, definitely want to watch that a little bit more, because that would be, gosh, if that holds together, that's going to be heading towards Van Buren County and Searcy County. It I don't know. It just seems like that's where all the storms get really. They just intensify rapidly right before they hit here. No, not really, but it seems that way.
Crystal says, I'm assuming Charleston is good. Yeah. Really, everywhere is good. Everywhere is. Because this is not a night where we're going to have real bad weather. Christy asks, looks like Hot Springs is going to miss us. The line you're looking at right now, yes. This part of the line's not headed towards Hot Springs, but this stuff back towards the west, it's eventually going to rain here this morning.
Don't tell me that. Well, I know, but it just seems like that, Rita. It. What was it last year? I think it was last year. There was no tornado warnings at all except for 4, and they were all in Van Buren County. Do you remember that, James?
I do.
That was absolute craziness. It was just nothing else anywhere.
Actually, Blaze, it was 1 year ago today, April 4th.
Was it really?
Yeah, Friday, April 4th. So that was the day. I don't hype things up. I was convinced we were going to have a tornado outbreak April 4th last year. And inexplicably, storms could not produce tornadoes. It's just literally a miracle.
Wow. But they were sure issuing those warnings too.
They did. Yeah. And we just didn't see very many tornadoes on that day. We did the day before and the day after.
That was the day, though, like, our safe room was full of people. Like, we had people just, I don't even know how people found out where I live or where our safe room is, but they all showed up. So
Shane says, in a small camper near Mountain View, any issues with what's left of the storms? Man, I think by the time it gets to you, it's just going to be rain and thunderstorms. Severe threats very low. Tiffany asks, anything concerning moving into Pope County? No, Tiffany, I'd go right back to sleep. Right back to sleep. I'm about to go back to sleep. Let Blaze keep an eye on it.
I'm gonna go downstairs and get some water and just keep an eye on things. Really, guys, the only, really, everything's falling apart. The only storm that we were talking about earlier that we're still watching is that one in Franklin County near Ozark that's showing a little bit of, very broad rotation as well as some very small hail, but that's really it, guys.
Yeah, this is a good event to Blaze. I'm actually about to pull up some data. I want to look at the new Euro data. Anyone opposed to that? Looking down the road?
Go for it.
We can.
While you
Let's
do
look at
that, I'm going to keep an eye on radar.
There's the severe weather risk today. Very low across the state. This says Sunday. This is actually for today. There's actually no. Am I reading this right? There's no tornado risk today. Yeah, no tornado risk
Is
today.
there not?
Doesn't look like it. Here's the latest Euro rainfall totals through. It's going through early this week, but you see it's got the totals really dropping off in East Arkansas, which I hope that doesn't happen. It's not guaranteed to happen. But north and west of I-30 and I-57, we could come in with 1 to 2 inches here, as this stuff moves real slow.
That's a lot of rain for Clinton, but we'll take it.
All right, let's look out down the road a little bit. We're going to be dry this next week, but we are going to have more chances for rain back in the mix. Looks like by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, you kind of see things brewing to our west. And I'm hopeful, Blaze, that it doesn't just ruin next weekend. But it looks
Yeah, I
like
hope
beyond
not.
next weekend, the storm track becomes pretty active. There's Saturday, there's Sunday, there's Monday. So we're going to have chances here. We're going to have chances for rain down the road. So that's a very good sign. That's just looking out down the road a little ways.
Well, we told you guys it was probably going to get active. April would. We're just to April 4th right now, so we got a long ways to go.
Hey, think about this, Blaze, though. 2025, we had 36 tornadoes in March and April, just March and April.
Wow.
And, that was, and most of them happened between March 14th and April 5th. So, we've only had, I think, 4 this year, running way below average. Not 4. I think we have 7, maybe. Cameron might know. I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
He's still on, though, because he just commented.
Gunner, Boonville's good.
Said,
everybody's good. It's going to rain. If it hasn't rained yet, it's definitely going to rain.
James says,
night shift.
not
Is that rain next
not you,
weekend
but
or concern for storms, tornadoes, Emily? Well, Emily, the image I showed you, I do have concern for severe weather, but that would be about 10 days out. So, it's just too early to say. We could have been talking about this weekend for severe weather for 10 days. We opted not to because there's always a chance this thing was just going to not do much, and it really hasn't.
Did you hear that? That was weird.
No.
I think there might be some lightning off in the distance. I don't know. That was weird, but yeah, this is
what
definitely
time should it
impacting
start
Newton
in
County right now.
I think it's going to be 2 or 3 hours. 9 tornadoes so far. Okay. Man, adding up. Yeah, I guess Northeast Arkansas had a few. All right, 3:02 a.m. I like the trends on the radar, guys. Blaze, if you want to grab a drink of water, I don't know how much longer you're planning to stay on, but I'm about to hit the hay again. After I just drank coffee.
What I'll probably do is I'll keep an eye on things and probably shut it down on social right now. We're gonna keep the radar up, guys. We have a 24/7 channel on YouTube, but we keep the radar up when there's storms occurring. So you'll be able to see the the Doppler radar, and I may jump in every once in a while, give everybody kind of updates there, and let everybody know. And then, as this does get closer to Searcy, Van Buren County, I might just go live on my page, just kind of giving people a quick heads up for it. Anyone in that area. So
It's going to be a good rain. It's going to be good soaking rain for a lot of us. So
it could wake up some people though, guys, because there's a lot of lightning with this, so it's going to be pretty loud.
yeah, especially that northern end of the line towards Harrison, Mountain Home. There's a lot of lightning up in that zone.
Man, we don't need lightning. Hey, did you happen, you may have been sleeping. Did you happen to see that lightning shot I posted earlier?
No.
Look at that shot. That's a lady in Searcy County, in Morning Star, and she had her camera outside. It was on a remote, and it was like a 6-second of shutter, and it captured like one of the best lightning shots I've ever seen.
Is
tonight.
that what's on? Is that what got uploaded to our pictures?
I don't know. I don't think it got uploaded.
Share my screen, bro. Look at this.
No, that is not it. But that's awesome.
I Was Willow is mad at us for being live. Bro, this is not TV. You don't have to watch us. Look at this comment. Yes, is Harris okay to go to sleep? Yes. I think just regular old storms. Janie just woke up in Harrison. Yeah, it's a these storms are loud, but they are not severe.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has an option if they want to watch us or not. I mean, that is the good thing about, like, especially what we do, is we're not breaking into live programming. We're not keeping people from watching a sports game. We're just here. So,
Here if you need us.
yeah. But anyways, if you don't want to shut us off and you want to listen to us, we're still here, and we also will be live on YouTube 24/7. So when we do jump off, me and James, then we'll continue with the radar, and then I'll hop on and give people updates. And another thing, I watch the chat. So all you got to do is
Yeah.
pop on YouTube, say something, and I'll jump in. So if you have a question, say it, I'll jump in.
Oh man. I'm tired, man. I have 2 kids under
I hear you.
3, and we're tired. Tired.
You had a busy day too, so
I like the trends on radar. Keith says, "What time for Mina?" Keith, it's not long. It's all to your north right now, but give it a 90 minutes. Probably start raining. Oh, driving from Memphis to Austin. Hey, thanks for watching and tuning in. Yeah, you're going to drive through some rain. Depending on when you get through Little Rock, it might not be till you get into Southwest Arkansas. So appreciate every single one of you that's watching. Again, the Arkansas Weather Network has a free mobile app. It's got your forecast data. It's got a live shot, or a live shot. It's got a live stream, which is not working right now, but we're going to get that fixed. And then we're on all the social media platforms. Facebook, YouTube are the 2 big ones. Coming to other ones. We've got a Roku TV app. We're about to have a Fire TV app. So there's lots of good weather sources. Tons of respect for all the other meteorologists that are out there. But Arkansas Weather Network covers all 75 Arkansas counties. We're here for you when the weather gets bad. Tonight doesn't look that bad, though, so I'm about to sign off and go to bed. Blaze is going to keep an eye on it the next few hours. I think this is just a lot of good old springtime rain.
I am very thankful for that. So,
Yeah, Zach was out at baseball games till like midnight, so I know he's tired.
he is. And they almost won. They lost in the championship game. So, I was like, "Oh, man."
I shouldn't have drank that coffee.
You can't sleep?
I had to get a jolt, man.
I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I don't drink caffeine, but
Even on these night shifts, you don't drink caffeine?
no, I don't. I should, but I
No,
don't.
no.
So,
Hang off as long as you can.
I mean, I used to a lot to the point where my body depended on it, and I was like, okay, I gotta calm down. So I
Yeah.
did, and now I'm just now I am drinking stuff like the stuff that's got a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? You put things in your water, like it keeps you
Oh,
hydrated more,
yeah.
and
Electrolytes.
yeah, exactly. So I'm drinking a lot of electrolyte stuff, and that's kind of keeping me awake. So
Santana just said, "It's loud in Harrison. We aren't worried about tornado warnings. Just want to know if I should go to sleep." Yeah, go right back to sleep. We did have a few warnings earlier, but it looks like we're about 30 minutes warning free here. Just regular springtime storms. And
in the event though,
good Saturday.
yeah, in the event something does happen and we have a warning, we'll be back live and we'll keep everybody updated. My body depends on caffeine, and I'm okay with that. I get it. I get it. A lot of people depend on caffeine, but I just got to the point where I just
I depend on
I
it.
just cut
I'll
it.
tell you right now, if I don't have it, I'm in trouble. Blaze, you just hit a point with kids. Like, there's never any recovery. You just constantly you just move about life tired.
Right. Well, I yeah. At some point I'll be dealing with that, but not yet.
All right, one last check of the radar. We have really power outages. There are some across the state, but they are minimal. This line continue to roll east. A lot of regular rain and storms. Severe weather threat seems to be exceptionally low going forward. Um, Blaze, what's the plan for in the morning? You gonna try to check out around 6 or 7? Should
Probably,
be.
yeah, get some sleep. I've got an event tomorrow night that I'm running the technology for, so I'm gonna try to get some sleep before that, but
All right, I'll check the radar here in about 3 hours. So,
I mean it's I can stay as long as you need me to.
it doesn't look like a whole lot's going to be happening from here on out. So, with that, everybody,
But
thanks for watching the Arkansas Weather Network. You can support us, keep this free by supporting our sponsors. They've been scrolling there at the bottom right of your screen for the last however long you've been watching. Among others, there's Air Masters of Arkansas, Splash Car Wash, First Community Bank, Arkansas-based bank with numerous locations that I do all my banking with. TCW Fiber has great internet at select locations. And of course, just joining us is the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, working to keep power restored across the state in areas that are not Entergy. So, a lot of great partners that are on board with us to make this whole thing happen, including Tamco. And this is the Tamco radar that you're seeing um, all this rain on. Of course, Encore Paintless Dam Repair out of Conway. You know, if we have any type of hail damage that you need repaired, you can go to Encore Paintless Dent Repair in Conway. All right, Blaze, I'm signing off for the night. Back in a few hours. Our baby girl usually wakes up at about 4:30, so
Oh,
you know the deal.
that means you get about an hour, hour and a
Yeah.
half. So good job, James. We'll talk to you. I would say tomorrow, but it's in a couple hours.
Talk to you soon.
All right, see ya. All right, guys. So again, just kind of a recap of what we're saying. These storms are on the downtrend, so that is good news. They're trending down. And so we're continuing to watch a few areas, still a few significant weather advisories. Can't rule out some small hail in the mix, but really, for the most part, things are calming down. So a lot of lightning still, gusty winds. I'll be here. I'll be keeping an eye on things. Going to go ahead and end the stream on the social medias, but we still will be live on YouTube as well as our app, except for iOS, and then the Roku channel. So guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the broadcast. On YouTube, I'll be able to see your comments. So if you put something in the chat, I'll be able to see it. So yes, you may hear music, but if you have a question or something, I'll pop on and answer those. So thanks, guys, so much. We'll keep you updated.